Yeah?
Yeah.
My number 2 is Sunset Overdrive on
nice.
the Xbox One. You haven't played this yet?
I have it sitting there looking at me, but no, I haven't even opened it yet. I haven't had time.
Okay, well, Sunset Overdrive gets off to an absolutely terrible start. The first 2 hours or so are so weary and so in your face, aggravating, that I just, at one point, I just wanted to stop playing it. But I'm really glad that I stuck to my guns, because while it is profoundly unoriginal, and the tone is akin to being violently assaulted by the most annoying person who has ever lived. It's extraordinarily entertaining, and the longer it goes on, the better it gets. The more the combat's embellished, the better it gets. The longer the story goes on, the less annoying it gets. No, that's bullshit. It gets more and more annoying, if anything. But anyway, it recovers so well from such an appalling start that it's hard not to admire it, really. It's a mixture of, amongst many things, it's a bit of Dead Rising, a bit of Tony Hawk, there's a bit of Saints Row in there, and a sort of tiny smattering of Burnout Paradise in the online.
Okay.
But if it reminded me of anything, it was Tony Hawk's Project 8. The online certainly, but the way that the world is structured and some of the tasks that you perform, and just the instantly gratifying nature of the trick system, because once you've unlocked all of the tricks and the moves, you can easily just entertain yourself by dicking around on one rooftop, you know.
Okay.
And the plot...
I've seen a few videos. You're grinding around. It's like Jet Set Radio, kind of grinding around the environment. So
I can't believe I didn't think... Yeah, that's the reference that everyone else makes. I always forget. Jet Set Radio, yeah, it's very similar to that. It's very sort of inspired by that. You're primarily sort of grinding around rooftops and high wires and stuff like that around this city.
Shooting stuff in the world.
Shooting enemies, and in addition to that, when you're not grinding on something, you're bouncing on things, because cars send you shooting up into the air, and everything involves multipliers and those. So you're just basically trying to keep everything going.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, the story is just not worth mentioning. There's some energy drink turns people into zombies. There's characters in it called fucking, what was his name? Troop Master Brill Cream or something? Because, like, hey, the people who made this game are crazy. The humour really is a problem, because it's not humour. It's just loud and in your face. But it's so completely lacking in actual gags. It really is like being elbowed in the ribs by Colin Hunt every few seconds. I know we invoke Colin Hunt way too much on this programme, but no other reference will do. When I picture Insomniac Games now, I just picture a sea of frizzy redheads sat there. What's also weird is that I have no idea who the hell this is aimed at. I have no idea. Because the tone is aggressively kind of puppyish, desperate to be loved. And so after a little while, I thought, okay, this is for kids. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just for really young kids. But then there's profanity shoehorned in, and many of the characters are just like high school stereotypes. I was like, what is this? Who do they picture sitting down to play this? And then it hit me in the face. I know who would absolutely love this game. Colin Hunt. This is Colin Hunt's favourite game. Anyway, all that stuff is to be ignored. But to be frank, if it's too much for some people, and I know it has been, and they have to bail, I totally understand. It's really, really full on, and it's not a great thing. But for me, if the party's good enough, I'll stay, even if Colin Hunt is there being a complete twat the whole time. But yeah, the game's about building and maintaining a style meter and killing enemies, grinding, killing enemies while grinding, bouncing on things, killing enemies while bouncing on things, and chaining all of those things together. And like I said, if you can't grind on it, you can bounce on it. Jumping on a car or a bin, you're flinging around all over the place. You can just grind on walls and barriers and blah, blah, blah. Primarily, it's power lines, though. You're above the city quite a lot. And actually, the reason why the beginning is so unthrilling is because the tricks that really allow you to chain things together aren't available. So you're not really doing amazing stuff at the very beginning. And here's another thing. The game has what's basically a maze of upgrade systems and different currencies, and it's all explained so fleetingly, almost contentiously, that I was spun out in a really, really bad way. It's like, do X to get amps. Amps give you boosts. Find collectibles, earn badges. Badges unlock Overdrive. And I was like, what?
It sounds
Why?
like Destiny, but Colin Hunt telling you how it works.
but it's like, hey, here's this. This works on the, and you're like, what was that? I don't really understand. And it took me hours until I actually got, because in the end, it just works the way all games do. It makes perfect sense after 5 minutes. It's not complicated at all. But the way they explain it is like, fuck off. Just X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, it's another reason that the game starts really badly. And also another thing that it doesn't explain to you is that you can't get on the ground. Enemies annihilate you so quickly when you're on the ground, because at first you're just grinding around, you're jumping on things, and you think, oh, I'll jump down, get a few shots off, but you're set upon so quickly, and your health bar goes doo, 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 and you're done. You basically, but again, it's annoying because you're not told that. You just think that you're playing the game wrong, or you need to grind for more upgrades or whatever. But once you get to grips with it, once you unlock all of the stuff you need to really chain stuff together, it's so enjoyable. It's like a really terrific Tony Hawk's game. Like I said, it really reminded me of Project 8, mixed with something really loud and obnoxious like Dead Rising or Saints Row, and it's really hard to put down. The missions, again, the game starts and it's just fetch quests, and you think, if it starts with this crap, there's nowhere for it to go. It's just going to be nonsense the whole way through. But it has loads of brilliant surprises in store, some superb boss battles, and just really bizarre stuff that's, I won't say not annoying, but less annoying than some of the other stuff.
Okay.
And a technical marvel. I haven't heard people talking about this, but I couldn't believe the Xbox One was handling some of the stuff I saw, because when you're attacking what looks like hundreds of enemies and they're exploding into all this orange goo, and you're above grinding along like a power cable or something, and the rest of the city is in the distance in detail. It's visually stunning. I mean, the art style's not inventive or interesting. I don't think Insomniac make particularly interesting games visually, but technically it is amazing, frequently amazing. But yeah, I mean, it's filled with infuriating faults that it basically irons out over the first 3 or 4 hours, and after that it's pretty great.
I've heard almost everything I've heard about this game has basically said that. Very, very similar. That starts badly, gets way better.
Yeah, I was genuinely close to throwing in the towel. I just thought life's too short for me to put up with Colin Hunt punching me in the stomach. But oh god, it's really good, and multiplayer is insane. Multiplayer is like Need for Speed Most Wanted or Burnout Paradise or Project 8 with 8-10 players buzzing around the city. Hey, quick, go here, do this, go collect. You're doing all of this stuff, and it just runs fine. Like, with all of this carnage going on, all of these players, it's mental, the multiplayer.
So it's not just like team deathmatch and stuff.
No. It's often cooperative stuff. There'll be some stuff where you say, hey, quick, race here. Like in Need for Speed Most Wanted, race to this place and then go and pick up a certain number of collectibles. So and so wins, and then you go there and then you have to defend. A lot of it's like horde stuff. But the craziness of the horde scenarios, because you set traps as well, because it's part of the campaign. You constantly sort of have these siege scenarios where you set these ridiculous traps.
Okay.
And it's just, I mean, the multiplayer is a blast. I wish I knew 7 people. I'm pretty sure it's 8 players per match. It might be more than that. It might be 12. But the multiplayer is really good as well. So it's, yeah, I really, really like it. Like it? Well, no, I love it. But I mean, I also just wish it would shut up.
Yeah.